My first instrument was the voice. Yeah, how about that? Yeah, I sang with my family and with my parents. They were always singing, and we just loved to get together and just, it was kind of a part of every day. My mom would wake up and do all the chores, singing, and it was just like kind of how you move yourself through the day was through singing, through the voice. Well, we were exposed to a lot of different music growing up. My father was a big fan of the Mills Brothers, and so we were listening to the Mills Brothers. My mom studied classical piano, so she would be playing, you know, Debussy and different things. She had 10 kids, so she didn't really have time to play a lot, but at some point, I wanted a piano, and there was somebody down the street who had one that they were going to get rid of, and we pushed it up the hill and into our house. I just got all my brothers and sisters to help, and we just pushed it up Hawes Ave and onto our street and into our house. I can't believe we did it, because it was an old piece of junk. But then it was in the house, and we could make music, and then my brother started playing too, and I don't know, it just changed things. Another influence that was really big in my family was Irish music, because we're a big old Irish Catholic family, and my parents loved the old songs, and there was a time, I grew up in Nanez in Cape Cod, which had a lot of the same flavor as Newport does. So I remember that there was a time that someone opened an Irish pub in Hyannis, and it was like a real Irish pub, because there was a lot of Irish people there. And they brought over some great Irish musicians, and my mom, it was in the 70s when, you know, women didn't go to bars alone. My mom would take me at 8 years old, and we'd scoot off to the Irish pub, and, you know, it only happened a few times, but it stuck in my memory so strongly that she knew how important live music was to me. And I mean, my whole family did, and my dad did too. So sometimes they would troop all 10 of us in, and we'd just sit and listen and sing along. And eventually we became friends with the musicians, and they would stay at our house, and you know, we developed a special bond with them and learned the songs that way. So Celtic music, and I think Celtic music is related to jazz. It has such rhythmic momentum and soul. It's, you know, a lot of the story of people suffering, and so I think there's a lot of that has in common, and that was a segue for me into jazz music. Absolutely. Some teachers that really helped me were, in high school I had a teacher named Mr. Barbarian who he brought everyone in. He was one of those gatherers. He was like a shepherd dog or something, and he just got everyone to come in to the choir, and then he saw that I was interested in jazz, and he started a jazz choir. And so, you know, good, now we have a jazz choir. And I didn't know anything about improvising or about the music, and he gave me Bill Evans' Tony Bennett, Alone Again. So I started with that, and then I never gave it back to him. I just never gave it back to him. I can't believe that. He also gave me a Billie Holiday record, which at the time, I couldn't really get with, because it had this choir going, ooh. She was singing God Bless the Child, and it would be go, ooh, and I thought it was so kind of corny. I didn't understand why they wouldn't just let her sing. So I didn't listen to that one as much at the time, but he was extremely influential and helpful. And then my college teacher I went to UMass Amherst, and the teachers there, Jeff Holmes, who's still running the department there, Fred Tillis, and especially, it was a program that was started by Max Roach, and I worked with Archie Shepp there. He was amazingly strong personality who really he came to my very first gig and played Danny Boy in a very high key. He just sat down and was like, and with all these crazy chords, which it was just opened my ears a lot. But my main teacher there was a man named Dr. Boyer, Dr. Horace Clarence Boyer, and he was a gospel scholar and someone who he was very influential in that music, in that realm, and he worked at the Smithsonian Institute, and he was just an amazing man, and he introduced me to Carmen McCrae, Betty Carter, John Hendricks, and he would just play them in our lessons and then say, did you hear what she just did with her voice? Do that, try that. So it wasn't like, here's the sharp 9, flat 7, you know, we never talked about those things. It was listening and doing. And I feel like that particular way of learning has really served me well. I'm Kate McGarry.